Across the South Coast, live from Solent University, you're listening to Solent Sports News.
Good afternoon, it's 4 o'clock. I'm Reddin Goodwin and welcome to Solent Sports News. Southampton moved off the bottom of the table thanks to a win against Everton on Saturday. Reporter Tom Wilkinson is down at the St Mary's Stadium as he got reactions of fans.
Yes, thank you, Rio. 611 days, 22 Premier League matches, a relegation and promotion in between. Finally, Southampton ending their winless Premier League run at St Mary's against Everton on Saturday. The ice in the veins of goalscorer Adam Armstrong, even colder than the Arctic-like temperatures that this November day has greeted us with. Is it just a temporary respite, though, or the turning of the tables, maybe? Saints supporters are still split directly down the middle, and I caught up with a couple of them today.
I don't think we're going to be relegated. I think we're a decent enough team that we shouldn't be relegated, and there's three worse teams than us in the league.
I can see them being relegated because they just don't seem to have the fire in their bellies.
The fate of the manager is still up in the air. Russell Martin has continued to heap praise on those involved in the first win of the season.
Pride in the players and the staff and the supporters and the owners and the board and everyone, the way they work, the way they train, the way they interact with each other. They're amazing. They're an amazing group, and I love them and I love being in, and I want to drag it out for as long as I can, so a win will certainly help that.
But what does the future really hold for the Saints? Well, I asked Daily Echo journalist Rhys Barrett on whether the win against Everton would be the spark Southampton desire.
I think that might have just been 3 points that changed the course of the season for Southampton. I mean, you didn't imagine that Russell Martin would stay in the job unless they beat Everton. It's eased the pressure on Martin ever so slightly, but you've still got a fan base divided. Very much reminiscent of the time when Hasenhüttl had maybe 20% of the fans in favour, 80% of the fans wanting him out. Wolves could go either way. Gary O'Neill, a manager that's had Southampton's number in recent years. Do you want to call it a 6-pointer? I think it's more like a 9-pointer, to be honest. It's one that if you can't beat Wolves, who are still winless this season, who can you actually beat? I think Southampton have got to get it done.
That Wolves match is going to be critical to the survival chances of both teams. Tom, how do you see that game playing out this weekend?
100%. It is going to be a difficult one for Southampton travelling away to Wolverhampton. It's not a fixture they've liked in the past either. Wolves with a pretty decent record against the Saints, along with the manager Gary O'Neill when he was at Bournemouth a couple of seasons ago. A loss there for Southampton. I think they would probably be resigning themselves to relegation, even at this early stage in the campaign.
Thanks, Tom. Ruben Amorim will be taking charge of Manchester United next week, where he faces a tough challenge of turning their season around. Their 1-1 draw against Chelsea confirmed their worst start to a Premier League campaign. The game was subject to VAR controversy after Lisandro Martinez's high challenge was only given as a yellow card. Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca disagreed with the decision, saying it should have been a red.
It's quite clear almost for all of us, but the referee is there to take a decision, and he took a different decision. I just said that for me, when there is not intention to go for the ball and you just go for the player, it's red.
Portsmouth fans will be hoping that they can finally move off the bottom of the Championship table tomorrow when they take off Plymouth Argyle. A point at the weekend in their 1-1 draw against Hull City means a win would see them out of the relegation zone. Ever wondered what the appeal of a sport that's typically played by your nan in the garden? Ever laughed at the word shuttlecock? Sports reporter Toby Chapman went out to find whether badminton's external image was something that was accurate about the sport.
The upper classes are those who are typically associated with the sport of badminton. Its origins as a high society pastime seem the total opposite to its involvement in the Summer Olympics.
Campeón olímpico y medalla de oro representando a Indonesia, Alan Bode Kusuma.
Its first involvement in the 1992 Barcelona Olympics has seen its fan base grow exponentially. The sport reaches an estimated 720 million people. This summer's games saw the best face-off in Paris.
To the victor, the spoils, and in this case, literally, back-to-back golds for Victor Axelsen, and a win as emphatic and dynamic as you could possibly wish to see.
So maybe this fast-paced action gives the sport a different kind of image. A recent study by the BWF suggested that 40% of the badminton fan base are of the ages of 34 and younger. So if the sport is so cool and hip, wouldn't it be best to find out firsthand?
I'm Freddie Bates, and this is my third year at Solent Badminton.
I'm Molly, and I've been playing. This is my second year playing.
My name's Matt Wilson. I've been playing for about 9 years now. This is my second year here. I'm the vice captain and social sec as well.
These three are part of the Solent University badminton team. So where did their passion for badminton begin?
I played just for fun when I was 4. I would go to these kids camps when my mum was working, and I would just kind of play.
I like how fast paced it can be. I also like how chill you can play it as well, because you can just play clears back and forth to each other for ages, and that can be fun in itself. I also like that you can play multiple people at a time.
Started originally when I was about 12, 13 at high school, and then played for a few teams, played for Suffolk, played for county level, and then just played a few tournaments around the country, and basically from there. But yeah. The
sport may be very fast paced, but what's the environment like?
Training numbers are good. We've got all 4 courts with doubles if we want to. Solent Badminton is a lot more chill than most of the other societies, like with rugby and football and stuff.
The community as well, everyone's really nice and everyone's really friendly with each other, and we all get along really well, and everyone's very dedicated to the sport, and they do want to try and play their best, and they do want to train and win as many games as they can.
Everyone's pretty tight, so it's good to come to training and everyone has a laugh, and it's not always about the badminton as such, it's more of the whole session in a whole, and then obviously about being together, I suppose.
But when it comes to them playing, is it just a laid-back, enjoyable game in the garden, or is there actually a competitive element?
We have a tournament every year at Winchester, and that's a lot of fun because it's literally an entire day of everybody playing badminton against everybody.
It's Conference Cup coming up next month. That'll be quite interesting to watch and play against.
I think obviously we've got varsity later in the season, and then obviously if some of us will go to Sheffield for the Bucks individual thing, which is quite a good weekend away to go for. But now I think it's just looking at every single game and thinking, what can we do?
It's looking promising at the moment.
So we've just heard firsthand that badminton's external image isn't quite what is felt down at grassroots level. Maybe this will change your view next time you consider giving the sport a go.
Lando Norris claimed that Max Verstappen's win at the Sao Paulo Grand Prix yesterday was just luck, not talent. Verstappen started in 17th place but managed to take advantage of the wet conditions to claim victory, stretching his lead to 62 points. The drivers head to Las Vegas at the end of the month, with the Dutchman securing his title if he leaves the weekend with a 60-point lead. Joe Marler has announced his retirement from international rugby to focus on his family. The England prop has made his decision public after the Red Roses lost the opening match of the Autumn Internationals 22-24 against New Zealand. He will be replaced by Sale Sharks' Ashu Opoku-Forger. He will have his first chance to appear in Steve Borthwick's side when they face Australia on Saturday. Former Scotland captain Stuart Hogg has pleaded guilty to domestic abuse charges against his estranged wife. The 32-year-old admitted sending 200 texts in a few hours and using apps to track her location following their breakup. Sentence has been deferred until 5th of December, when a full mitigation will be provided by Hogg's legal team. Hampshire Hawks fast bowler John Turner has been given an England development contract for this season. He made his first 2 appearances for England last weekend, where he got 2 wickets in his second Test match. England's 5-wicket win on Saturday in Antigua to set up a third Test decider against the West Indies, which will take place on Saturday. England cricket legend Freddie Flintoff will be releasing a documentary on the impact that Top Gear crash had on his life. The former England cricket captain was left with his facial and rib injuries from a collision while filming for the BBC show in 2022. The 90-minute film will look at the star's recovery as well as detail his sporting career. That's all from us today. We will be back next week from 11 a.m. Remember, you can keep up to date 24 hours a day on our website, which is solentsportsnews.com. From all of us here, goodbye.